And last but not least, we are going to talk about Shannon Sharpe chastising Chad Ochocinco for being late to a recent episode of Nightcap. So this started with a viral clip of Shannon Sharpe becoming frustrated because there were technical issues with one of their episodes of Nightcap, and Chad was running late. And then it progressed further with the two of them talking about the situation, and then Shannon Sharpe clarifying his comments toward Ocho Cinco by himself. So this says Shannon Sharpe addresses his recent viral outburst and heated exchange with Ocho Cinco. Shannon Sharpe was hosting his popular show Nightcap the other night when he was experiencing some audio issues. This subsequently led to an outburst that made it seem like he was mad at his production crew. Moreover, he reamed out Chad Ochocinco, who showed up late to the broadcast. This led to quite a bit of discourse on social media. However, Sharpe decided to not give into any of it. On Sunday night, Sharpe explained what happened and noted that it had nothing to do with his team. So we're just going to play some of these clips here. So let me start with this one because I might have to open up a different tab.
Come on, play for us. Paul.
Let's see if it'll cooperate.
Come on, cooperation.
Or I may have to refresh the screen. Usually it happens with these Twitter. Wait.
Yeah.
It'll work.
My ear. It's playing back in my ear. Guys, do us a favor. Make sure you subscribe to the Nightcap podcast feed wherever you get your podcast from. And remember, every podcast subscriber, playing back in my ear, guys. It's playing back in my ear.
Damn.
I can't read why that's it playing in my ear. I'm sorry, guys.
Damn. What's up with Shay, man?
You can tell when he's.
It's not now because I'm not talking, but it was. It's good. I don't hear anything. Let me start reading again. Guys, we're sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know if it's me or if it's on the other end, but I promise you that won't happen again. Guys, please make sure you do us a favor. Go check out Shea by Laportier. If Shea is not in the state or a city near you, you can order it and it comes.
Uh-oh.
Guys, damn it! What is Ash?
He even get mad sassy. Yeah, he slapped that microphone, boy.
Thank you for doing it again.
Come on, man.
We right on time. You can hear me?
Hell no.
Yes, I hear you. Go ahead.
All right, so that was Unc getting frustrated over the technical difficulties, but Chad was also late, which frustrated him as well. So here's the exchange between Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco over Chad showing up late to the episode.
Alex. He was really cool dude. And as soon as he opened the car door and he got out the car door to greet me, the car door locked by accident. So I would have been on time, but the fact that we had to wait for the tow truck and them to bring the Slim Jim was the reason for my delay and getting to the hotel a little late. But I'm here now.
Let me ask you a question. So when you go to ESPN, you have people pick you up from the airport?
Yeah.
No, you don't. When you do inside the NFL, you have people pick you up from the airport?
Yeah, at the beginning, yeah.
No, you don't. So I'm just trying to figure out why with your show would you choose to take that route when you don't take that route for ESPN and inside the NFL?
I wasn't lying. I'm dead serious. When I fly into Philly, I had somebody pick me up from Philly. When I fly into New York, I have somebody pick me up from New York. I'm serious.
But
Hold
that
on.
ain't what they told me. I just talked
Hold
to
on, listen
ESPN
to me now.
Travel.
It's documented. It's documented.
I'm just telling you.
But all you
I'm
have
just
to
telling
do
you
is
what they
just
were
search
told
my
me.
tweets. I've been doing it the past 15 years. I always do this.
I'm not saying that.
Yes, sir. Talk to me now.
Ocho,
Right.
again. Ocho, this is
Right,
part of your
right,
show.
right.
Why would you be late? Why would you run the risk of being
Well,
late?
I didn't want to be late. I just told you what happened. I would have been on time. But due to unfortunate circumstances of him locking the keys in his car, which I documented, I was just a little late.
Why don't you, Ocho? Why don't you just have the people that you're working for just have them to book your car service?
I don't like car service.
It's okay.
I don't like how them people they be mean and they be bougie. I don't like, they be in suits and ties and shit. That don't make me comfortable. That don't make me comfortable. What makes me comfortable is like being able to sit down and talk. Wait,
you want to be comfortable or you want to be professional?
No, I don't want to be. No, I want to be comfortable. I want to talk to people that I can relate to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just there. But see, here's the thing, Ocho. You say you want to be professional. You want to do ESPN. You want to do all these professional things, but you want to take a bootleg ride.
No. I want to remain my authentic self the same way I always been and do those things. Is that okay?
Okay.
No.
Okay. Let me know how that work out for you. Colorado lost to Nebraska 28.
Damn, Shannon. Yeah, boy.
And finally, here is Shannon clearing things up.
Oh
Before
yeah.
we get started,
Now, we're not going to play this whole thing.
Right.
But we'll play it just enough to get the idea.
Ocho, there's some things that I want to address. Last night we had a situation. Everything is like in my computer. It's a little different for me here in the studio, my studio, compared to you at home. Everything is linked. The camera, the iPad, the computer, everything is linked. And what had happened is that as I'm talking, somehow it clicked over to the video. So that's what I was hearing playing back in my ear. So it wasn't anything. It wasn't like a malfunction. Somehow the audio had clicked on the video that was playing. So I could hear that back in my ear. So that was nothing that people back at in the studio was doing. That was no fault of their own. That was just something that had just all of a sudden happened. And it just took us a minute to figure out. We troubleshoot after we got up the show and we got it figured out. That won't happen again. I can assure you of that. Other technical difficulties might arise, but that won't happen. And then, guys, look, there's been a lot said. Well, you trying to do the Ocho, what Skip did to you, blah, blah, blah. No. What I am going to do is that I'm going to push, I'm going to pull, I'm going to drag Ocho to a level that he didn't think he could get to. See, I saw some of the comments. You too serious. It's just a little internet show. It's a YouTube show. For you, that's all you see it as. But that's not the vision that I shared with Ocho when we sat down. That's not the vision that Ocho say, we can do that? Yes. I say, you see what the other guys are getting. But I can't go when I sit down with these studios and they says, okay, Shannon, what can you do? What do you want to do? How are you gonna package this? What are you looking for? Because when you go to a studio, they want a time slot. They want okay, what time slot you want to be in? And can we account on you being in that slot? Yes. Yes, absolutely. And so I want Ocho to take it serious. I've conveyed this with Ocho. Ocho, I'm not breaking earth, interrupting your normally scheduled programming, because I just want Ocho to understand this is Ocho's show. This is my show. And I want him to take it as serious instead of like when he goes on First Take, be great on First Take. Inside the NFL, be great on those. But I want Ocho to understand we gonna only go as far as he and I can take this thing. And the heights that I dream, and I think what he's conveyed to me is that we're going to have to do this together. But there has to be a level of professionalism. There has to be a courtesy of being on time. I respect his time, and I want him to respect, because there's a lot of people. We started out, it was just Ocho, myself, one person in the studio, and Ash. We got 11 people now. We got editors, we got graphics, we got extra producers, we got associate producers. And so,
all right, that's the general idea. So Yeah, so people were kind of going at Shannon because they felt like he was coming down on Chad a little too hard. They felt as though it was ironic given the fallout between he and Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless threw him under the bus on Undisputed, which eventually led to Shannon leaving the show. And they felt like kind of in a similar vein, Unc was throwing Chad under the bus in that moment in time. But from Shannon Sharpe's perspective, it's all about professionalism and being on time and just an adherence to just a professional code of conduct. So this was an rather ongoing conversation the last couple of days involving Mr. Sharpe and the Nightcap show and Chad and all of that. But what do you make of that exchange there? You think Shannon Sharpe has a point, or you think it was a bit too much?
I mean, I feel like he took it too far. If you wanted to sit there and talk about professionalism, I think the most professional thing is, if you're running a show that borderlines on comedy, is to play that off in a humorous way and then try to build him up off air. But trying to sun him on air saying, no, you don't. Blah, 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 blah. No, you don't. That was real nasty. Real auntie like Unc. And I don't really care for that sassy ass behavior. So yeah, I felt like he was out of pocket on that. Now, granted, when people get mad, they get mad, man. People get frustrated. I'm pretty sure this wasn't the first conversation that he's had with Ocho, and the technical difficulties that he was having earlier didn't help. So I think it all came to a boil on air, and he lost his temper. And but when you're being professional on live air, keeping your temper in check is part of being professional on air. So the irony about him trying to chastise Ochocinco for not being professional is that he wasn't being professional himself. Everybody knows Ocho in this pairing as the lovable goof. If Ocho was late because of anything, honestly, it would have been, and he's like, hey, I'm here now, then that's part of, hey, come on, look at Chad again. Just stumbling in late, man. Or ha ha ha, it's part of his shtick. So play it off as such. But you trying to sun him on air, you trying to say that networks are watching, they trying to know what we about, and you not being professional, all of that stuff, just, more than throwing him under the bus. That's driving over him and bringing it back, and going in reverse. So I didn't care for it. Very sassy behavior from Unc, and I didn't like it. Even his apology, I didn't like it. Just for him just getting to the point where I'm just trying to build him up. Like, again, he's some son of yours. This is a grown ass man over here. Yeah, he eats McDonald's every day. Who gives a shit? He's still a grown ass man. So you can't talk to him like that. So yeah, I don't agree with Shay on that. He can try to explain himself away on that. He was being nasty to his producers or the people in the back, the sound people, and come to find out it was his fault. He didn't own up on that. He just said that, that'll never happen again, So to me, this came off real diva-esque. Now I see why he walks around the airport with a poodle. This just comes off as typical Shay behavior to me. But what are your thoughts on Unc Shay grilling Chad Ochocinco's? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess, did it have to happen on air? Not necessarily. It didn't have to happen on air. They could have, had a meeting of the minds once they had finished the episode. So I hear that. But I agree with the spirit of his message, though. I don't have a problem with him desiring for his platform to maintain a certain standard for professionalism. I do think that that's important. And this relates to the topic that we discussed with Ray Gunn, where I talked about standards across the board being low in general. I think that standards for professionalism have dropped significantly. in recent memory. I don't know why. I don't know the cause of it. I don't know the root of it, but I've experienced it and I see it and I deal with it on a daily basis when I'm handling my own business. I don't know whether I'm in need, whether I need to get in my car and go somewhere to a physical location to handle some business, pick up the phone and call and speak to a customer service representative. I need to change this policy or I need to put this money into this account. It just seems like on a very regular basis, I am running into a lack of professionalism when it comes to just everyday tasks and just, things that I encounter in everyday life. Grocery stores. I go into the grocery store and, people, they don't greet you. They don't want to help you. They're going out of their way to not assist you in stores. They kind of want to put blinders on and not try to see to it that they get you the help you need. It's just all kinds of stuff that I'm seeing nowadays. It's like I said, I don't know what happened, but people want to people want to be as people want to be as professional as least possible, but still be paid as much as possible. I'm noticing that. It's like people want to get people want to be able to put out as little as possible, but get in return everything that they want. And I'm not leaving the entities off the hook. It's the same with companies. They want to be able to get the maximum amount of effort and output out of people, but pay them as little as possible. So these types of things are going on across the board. But professionalism right now is completely in the pits. I mean, I'm trying to do a deal with this person, and I'm telling them, okay, let me know what the deal is. And 4 days later, I ain't heard from them. So now I need to reach out to you again just to get a response from you on what the situation is. People don't respond to emails within a business day or two. I got to reach out to you. People tell me, okay, I'm going to see to it that this service gets done. I'm going to get the maintenance tech into your home on Thursday. 10 days later, I still ain't heard from the maintenance tech and I ain't heard from you. So now I got to get on the phone to call you to see what's going on with something that you told me you were going to do because it never happened. So, like, across the board, professionalism right now is complete and utter shit. And so it's frustrating to me, both as an individual who has to deal with humans on a daily basis, as well as a consumer, someone who is a consumer of goods and services. I long to see a day where people were prideful about adhering to a certain level of professionalism when it comes to their approach to their work, their job, their craft, whatever the hell it is that you're doing. And so that's the place that I speak from when I defend Shannon Sharpe scolding Chad, because I think in Shannon's mind, he he genuinely wants to see Chad elevate. And in his mind, whether you agree with it or not, him doing that is one of the ways that he can help Chad elevate. Now, whether it had to happen on stream or on camera, I agree with that. I feel like Shannon could have collected his emotions. They could have done the show. And then off camera, they could have had a conversation. They didn't need to have that play out live on air. So
Right.
that's what I agree with. Not necessarily did he have to throw him under the bus publicly, but this idea that we're going to do this professionally, and I don't care if it's a YouTube show like this right here, Conscious Approach. I approach doing this with a certain modicum of punctuality and respect to professionalism. And we ain't making money doing this, but I take that seriously enough because I don't want to be disrespectful of my time or your time. It's a certain level of common courtesy that you should afford someone that you're working with and collaborating with. And
Mhm.
not enough people care about that stuff. And it's very annoying. It's very aggravating.
I
I
agree.
don't know what the hell has happened with this basic, lackadaisical, just laissez-faire, I don't give a damn approach to life in general, much less professionalism. But people are just on this, I don't give a damn. People are just on that nowadays. It's weird. I don't know if it's too much social media, too much internet. I don't know, too much Fortnite, too many video games. I don't know what it is, but people are just on this whole whatever, you know. And that part I don't appreciate because it starts affecting me. I need you to change this policy. Call me back, bro. I need an update I need an update on what we're doing on this landscaping. Email me back, bro. Why do I have to follow up with you for a follow-up? And I know you see that happening too.
I mean, I do that all day at work. My whole job is chasing people down.
So it's like, what are we doing here, people? Like, so I'm going to say I hear where Shannon's coming from on that level. Whether it had to be handled publicly on the show, no, that was distasteful. So I hear you on that for sure. But I guess for me personally, speaking from the standpoint of people need to take professionalism more seriously in general. I hear that, and I would approach it the same way, just not publicly. I'll do it privately.
Yeah, agreed. And that's my whole point, is that there's tiers of professionalism. So because the way he talking like he the supervisor. I gotta show you the way. Yeah, we doing this together, but I gotta show you the way on how to make this bag. So that's how he's talking to him. So if you're talking to a lower level employee who clocks in late all the time, yeah, that's what he does. You know what I'm saying? But you're trying to get him to be like the supervisor, like you are. So if you trying to take this guy under your wing and he's doing these things that aren't the level of professional, that's fine. But what Shannon did was he showed out in front of his friends in the supervisor world. You know what I'm saying? He had to dunk on them real quick. And so to me, there's levels and tiers of professionalism. So yes, Chad Ocho, he's doing the lower tier thing, but you're trying to raise him up. So this is part of his growing pains. And he has to be mature enough, professional enough, how to handle that live on air. He should also be professional enough to know how to handle technical difficulties when they're happening. But he got in his little diva bag. He got in his personal bag. You know what I'm saying? It's probably got the poodle in it. And when he did that, he got upset on air and, launched an unprofessional way of carrying himself. So he can try to say all the stuff that he wants, all this big boy talk of, hey, bro, I'm getting all this money and I'm trying to show you how to get these money with these corporate people. We got to have all this stuff. But no, even that explanation on your live platform was unprofessional. So address this in another way. Apologize to Chad Ocho on air. Don't sit here and say I'm trying to guide him along and he can vouch for this. I ain't saying nothing that I ain't say behind. No, keep that behind closed doors. So the only thing that you have continued to do was son Chad Ocho in the sense that, hey, I'm separating myself from this Negro. I don't act like him. I'm prompt. And so that was very unprofessional of him to be saying on air. So if he wanted to handle this situation, hire brothers, have people in the back to say that, hey, I'm hiring these people. I got these people. I'm hiring these black people. I'm trying to woo, 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 woo. Hey, man, sometimes you're going to deal with a little stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I would ask for him to be a lot more mature in that situation. I'll be a lot more professional in that situation. There's times when I'm sitting there and I'm doing my thing at work and something wants to give out, electronically. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, I've had a hell of a day at home, but I still have to be able to be professional in front of all these people. So I'm not going to sit here and slam the desk and, woe is me. Hey, man, you got to let that roll off your back. And then, vent to yourself once the camera's off. So I agree with your stance, man. Professionalism is in the pits. I don't know, everywhere I go, okay? Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's the grocery store, okay? Nobody wants to be anywhere. And you say, but you're saying like, hey, man, where's this coming from? This is a generational thing for sure, because it was in me. It was definitely in me. So I get when these younger people don't have that thing to say, hey, at least got to put up something to work here. They don't give a damn at all.
It's not just that. It's not just generational. I think it's economic. I think people feel like they're no longer being paid enough to be professional. That's what I think.
Oh,
I think
that
it's
too.
I think it's economically motivated. I
But
think
yeah,
yeah, I think generally speaking, because I see old people not giving a shit either. It's not just young people. And I think it's economically motivated. I feel like it's like I said, people want to do the most, people want to get paid the most, but do the least. And like people feel like, oh, if I'm not getting paid enough, I don't care. That's the whole thing. I don't give a damn. I don't care. I ain't getting paid enough. They ain't paying me enough to blah 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 blah. That's the mentality.
that's
And
what I
and
used to
and
do.
the whole thing is in your mind. And the whole thing is, okay, well, what is your perception of paid enough? What does that mean? Like, what? How much should you be compensated to feel as though your professionalism is commensurate with the money
Six
that you
figures,
are being paid to do
a
something?
million
And,
dollars.
and exactly, no one really knows. No one knows. No one knows. But it's not just generational. It's economically motivated, I think. And there's just a lot of people who are walking around. They're empty vessels. They don't know what their purpose is in life. They're floating their way through everything, but they know they want. They know they still want to be paid. That's the weirdest thing about it is people are floating through life. They haven't figured out their passion, their purpose. They don't know why they're here or what they're meant for. But they do know they want to get that money. They know they want the bag. They know they want the house and the car and all of this stuff, but they have no purpose. And instead of realizing that once you discover the purpose, all of that stuff will come, they just lament the sad state of their life. And then they approach professionalism with that same lack of urgency when it comes to lamenting, woe is me, I'm a victim, life sucks, and I'm not getting enough money. And it's just this whole sickness going on with respect to human behavior.
Yeah,
But I get it. I think I hear where you're coming from. I'm not going to come down as hard on Shannon for this as you, albeit I hear where you're coming from, because I really really take this kind of the overarching conversation around professionalism. Personally, I take that seriously. And it's due to how much unprofessionalism I am surrounded by on a daily basis. And I'm over it. I'm really over it.
and
And I don't care if it's I don't give a damn what. I don't care if you selling waters on the side of the street. I don't care if you volunteering at Goodwill. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're making a lot of money doing it or no money doing it. I don't care if it's a nonprofit. I don't care if you're working at McDonald's, Popeyes, Walmart. I don't care if you're a paralegal. I don't care if you're a doctor. I don't give a shit what you're doing. You have to be respectful of people's time, and you have to be respectful of the fact that people are patronizing whatever it is that you're doing.
agreed.
And you cannot look at yourself as this consummate victim all the time because you feel like life has dealt you a bad hand. And so, because life has dealt me a bad hand, I don't care about being professional because I don't give a damn. And there's just way too many people walking around living like that. And they really do need a reality check.
I,
And
I,
so,
I,
what I can appreciate from Shannon Sharpe is, by all appearances, he has somewhat of a zero tolerance policy within reason when it comes to that. But to your point, and I agree with this, how you approach dealing with people when there is a lack of an understanding or when y'all aren't on the same page says a lot about your like temperament and how you handle things professionally as well. So I get that point too.
yeah,
But I'm looking at it from a bigger picture standpoint of people just across the board sucking when it comes to being professional, being responsible, being punctual, being accountable for how they approach just doing things in life. People really do need a reality check around
I,
here.
I agree. And this is the last thing I say is I believe it's multifaceted. Of course, it's not just one driving force, but I do believe, you know, a large component of it is generational. And like if I have a phone conversation that's customer service and I'm actually talking to a representative, uh, and I get that top tier service, like this lady, you know what I'm saying? She wants to, make a meal for me afterwards or something. Like, damn, man, it's an older woman.
Yeah.
It's an older woman, and the younger you get, the more monotone, the more, hey man, anything else you need, bro? Damn. Like, hey, bro, look, man, what's going on? It's like I'm bothering him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the younger they get. And of course, and yes, bro, I hear your point with professionalism, overarching. And my thing is, I'm throwing Shannon in there because the one thing that I can't stand about certain professionals is the fact that they think they're better than other people.
Yeah, yeah,
Professional.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, a real problem is people who are nasty and disrespectful, but they code it as, this is how I'm being professional, or this is how I'm going to teach you to be professional. So
I don't know.
that's counterproductive. That's counterproductive too.
Yeah, and so my thing is that to me, I lumped him in that boat because I'm watching this. I'm watching this, and if I was some top tier exec, now I see how this guy acts when he gets flustered live. Now I'm seeing how, hey, there's all kind. You're gonna run into all kind of stimuli doing live shows. So let me see how this guy acts when a shiftless Negro does something shiftless, and he did it, and then he showed out like how he did. So my thing is that he failed the professional test in my book. But I get what you're saying. But if he's so high and mighty, handle yourself better. That's all I gotta say. And so I get your point too. Yeah, but I just think that I was disappointed in how he handled that, because this guy's so well spoken and how he handles himself with everything else. I'm surprised that he went down that road. So it must be a habitual thing with this dude for him to lose his temper like that on air. But still, nevertheless, man, if you want to sit there and throw stones, just make sure you're not in a glass house in this situation, in my opinion. And I think he was. So yeah. But best of luck to Shay and Ocho, man. But what more do you expect from a man who eats McDonald's every day? Of course he's gonna be late. Okay. So come on, man. Let the man slide.
Yeah, he need time to wake up from his GMO coma.
Oh man, let the man slide, man.
Oh yeah, shouts out to Shannon and Ocho, man. I think they got a good show going, and hopefully there's no rift. But I feel you. I hear. I think we're both right. I can't stand dealing with these people nowadays and just not being professional. It really grates me. It really
charge it to the game. I just try to do everything myself now.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which takes me back to my general lack of faith in humanity. It all ties into that, because the more I encounter stuff like this, the more I'm just like, you know what? I got such low expectations for y'all. Y'all can't make me mad anymore because I don't expect much from you.
I cook my own. I eat out. I cook my. I rather make my own food. Yeah. I rather make my own food. I rather do my own thing. Like, there's certain things that I'll see and I'll get service done for it, and I go, you know what? I'm tired of this shardy service. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it myself. Yeah. So yeah, man, I'm with you, bro. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I wash my own car. Yeah, all of that.
Bro.
Yeah. Yeah. But that'll do it for tonight's stream. Good topics, good stuff. JV wins, Dogon SS once again, right back at you. Check us out, Instagram at Conapproach, CONAPPROACH. I am on Instagram at JV wins, JVWINS. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you think about the commentary in this or every other video. We certainly appreciate you as we continue to rock and roll and build out this community. Thank you so much for supporting our brand of logical content. And until next time, go Heat, go Dolphins, and think for yourself, and have a great, productive, wonderful, and professional week. Please be professional.
Yeah. And the name is Dogon SS. And you can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS, and on TikTok, and on YouTube, on DraftKings, on what's the other thing they got out there? FanDuel. Golly. Come holler at your boy, man. Dogon_SS. And as I say on every part, everyone. All right, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it player, and don't let anybody get you off your pivot, even if you're doing 60 in a 40. You hear what I'm saying? So the next time, my peoples, we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Skr.
Yes, sir. Shouts out to everybody in the chat. Shouts out to Shouts out to Worm. Shouts out to Terrence McClendon. Shouts out to Dallas Lewis. We appreciate y'all,
Hey,
man.
and even if Marcus Dudley ain't there, shout out to Marcus Dudley.
Yeah,
man.
shouts out to Dudley, man. Real OG of the channel. Appreciate y'all, man. We are out of here. Until next time, we'll see you later. Peace.
Oh, sharp. Yeah, go Kane. Go Heat.